Hello there, welcome to Genesis Models, and this is another inbox review by me, Bobby Waldron. Now what we've got here is one of these models that are just, shall we say, the big expensive kind of projects that you don't normally do. Okay, the kit is a whopping £120 retail price, okay, and it's 1 in 32nd scale. It's the McDonnell Douglas F-4J Phantom Marines. Okay, this is a whopper, expensive, really nice looking kit. Now the box is absolutely huge, as you can probably tell, so I'm gonna have to put this box somewhere else and get the pieces out and show you. We've also got a load of aftermarket parts for this kit as well, ranging up to somewhere like, you know, basically over £200 for a single build. Okay, so give me a second to open this up and start getting out what's in here. Okay, now I have not had a proper look at this kit yet. Okay, I thought I'd kind of show you as I go through it myself. Now we've got a nice set of instructions here. We've got a load of decals here which we'll have a look at in a bit. Okay, looking at the instructions so far, have not looked at these yet. Looking quite nice. It's not in colour so far anyway. Looks like we've got a nice bit of a write-up here, just kind of generally you know, talking about the actual aircraft and everything, and it's the usual kind of Tamiya sort of setup in the way of telling you the instructions. Okay, it is a big kit. There is a lot of stuff going on here. It looks like we've got like lots of options to go with this one as well. You're going to have to actually use screws as well, which is a bit of a rare one, but you know, this is going to be a big kit, so it's probably going to weigh quite a bit as well, so it probably needs that little bit of extra strength. Cockpit detail looks like it would be quite nice. It looks like it's one of them kind of like the cockpit, well, the tub is kind of plain, and then you kind of just come along and stick lots of rectangles and stuff that make up all the instrument panels, and it works that way. But apart from that, yep, looks pretty good. We've got screws to put in on the wheels as well. It looks like there's rubber tires as well, so that should be quite good. Looks like you get quite a few weapons as well with this kit, but I mean, I don't think you're going to have much problem with the instructions. I mean, it does look as though, you know, it will go together quite nicely, I think. Oh yeah, yeah, you got like flaps up and down as well. That's cool. So just quickly running through, that looks pretty good. Markings, looks like we've got 3 sets of markings here. One is the VMF333, and that's like the number 201, September 1972, US America. And then we've got the USS Roosevelt, that's the VF84 Jolly Rogers, number 200, that's June 1971. They look quite good, some nice patterns with these, good markings. Then we've got the Red Devils with the VMF 232 number 1 July 1977. Yep, so you've got 3 sets of markings there. I don't think you're gonna have much problems going on with this, with the instructions anyway. Let's put them to one side. Decals, now, you know, it's 1 in 32nd scale, you know, everything's all, ooh. Now, have I just noticed something bad, or is that the way it's supposed to be? Yep. Just looking through that film there, I was just like, oh no, we've had a bit of an accident with the whole markings there, but when you look at it, it's supposed to be that way, so that's good. Looking at it, to be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of the Chinese decals. But they will conform to Micro Solon set, but but I do find that the Mr. Mark softener and the Mr. Mark set is more designed for the Chinese kind of decal films, and they do seem to work that bit better with them. But they are nice and strong, they do conform nicely, but we will have to see about these particular decals. And looking at them, okay, the writing, it's nice and small, and it does, you can actually read the nice small writing. It is nice, clear, crisp, looks nicely in registry. Now the stencils, okay, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this on camera, okay, but if you kind of shine it in the light, okay, you can see the decal film, and can you just see where we've got our lots of different kind of like sets of writing, and I don't know if you can tell, but you've got like the decal film that links them all up. Okay, so what you end up with is basically, you know, a biggish chunk of decal film. Okay, big chunk of decal film with, like, you know, bits of sets of writing here and there, but you've got lots of see-through decal film. In these situations, I like to cut out all the little you know, bits of writing and then kind of decal them down separately, rather than having this mass of see-through decal film. So that's one thing you might want to look at doing, because you're going to probably end up with trying to get rid of a lot of silver, and if you don't cut out all these little sets of writing on there. Apart from that, they do look pretty good, and I think that was the stencil sheet. Next up, okay, I mean, this video is probably going to take a bit of time, because I mean there is a lot of stuff to look through. This decal sheet, okay, is basically your markings by the looks of it, and they look just the same as what I've just got out, and they do look nicely in register, and some of these will look really nice on the model. I do like how I'm doing this, where they actually staple it on, just to make sure you keep this little sheet to protect all your decals. That is a nice touch with the packaging. Just some whatever that is, don't need that. Right then, just no particular order, I'm just going to start getting some of these pieces out now. This is nicely packed, okay, and what we've got here is our fuselage section, which looks really nicely detailed, okay. The 1 in 48 scale Phantoms, I think, yeah, you basically you kind of glue the two fuselage sections together. With this, it's just one big whopping piece. Are we completely zoomed out? There you go, seeing a bit there. One big whopping piece, okay. Looking at the plastic, okay, it's nice smooth plastic, good for spraying on. The recessed panel line detail is looking really nice, really crisp, okay. You know, not too deep, but not so shallow that you have to re-scribe everything. Looks pretty consistent. We've got a lot of nice rivet work going on here. I mean, it's one of these things where you're starting to see, okay, I can see why this kit costs £120, okay, because that is pretty some nice work going on there with that, okay, and that's nicely packaged as well, which is good. So I'll just put that back. Okay, got another set of sprues here. Okay, let's just get my blade out. Oh no, it's not there, it's over here. Okay, no particular order, I'm just getting some of these bags out and we're just going to have a look. Okay, I don't need a blade. Right then, this looks like all our cockpit area. Let's bring you right in, shall we, on our cockpits. Okay, as you can see, I mean, you know, you've got some nice, pretty nice detail going on there, and as I said from the instructions, yeah, the tub is basically plain blank, and then you cut out all these little squares and rectangles which have all your instrument panel stuff on there, you know, and that'll glue on there and make up all the detail. Moving along, I mean, actually there is some nice detail going inside here. Okay, here's all your instrument panels, looking really nice. Okay, joysticks and all that, you know. Yeah, it does look nice, the actual cockpit area does. I have brought the resin cockpit to go with this, okay, but looking at that, I don't think you're gonna moan too much about the actual cockpit itself. Okay, so you know, you don't have to go out and buy a resin cockpit by the looks of that. Try and speed things up. Okay, let's try not to get them all out of the bags. This is just like a bit of air intake stuff, and I mean, we've got some, if we can bring you in here. Okay, we've got your I think these are like air brakes, and I think, as you can see, you know, you've got some nice detail going in there, which, you know, when we're talking 1 in 32nd scale, I mean, you need the detail, you know, to be that bit better than your normal 1 in 48 scale, because it being bigger, you know, the detail needs to be more, so we need that. Okay then, basically in here, this little bag here, don't need to open this up, we've just got a load of bombs. Okay, they look nice and everything. I mean, I haven't seen any nasty shrinkage, I haven't seen any ejector pin marks in the wrong place, or any flash, to be honest with you. But a nice big array of weapons going on in here, and pylons, nicely recessed panel lines. Okay, another sprue here. Okay, now in this sprue we've got some missiles, we've got a nice big fat fuel tank ×2. Okay, but we have got our exhausts. Okay, which I want to cut one off. Okay, because I wouldn't mind comparing, okay, what's in the box to some resin. Okay, that way you can decide whether or not to keep what's in the box or buy some actual resin stuff. And I think that bit there, that will show that off nicely. Okay, but as I say, it's all looking, you know, pretty good. In fact, I think we've got our ejector seats here as well, and our pilots. Okay, I mean, taking a look at our pilots here, I mean, our pilots look quite good. I did buy some aftermarket pilots, but the ones in here are looking pretty decent, to be honest. The ejector seat is something that is put together in lots of different pieces. We'll have to see how that looks potentially, but I think I've got resin seats as well, so we'll try and show that at some point maybe. Another sprue here, you know, we've got our nose cone, you know, some flaps and stuff, and another fuel tank. This is, you know, pretty much it's the same with the whole kit really. You know, the whole detail side of it, recessed panel lines, riveting, you know, it is actually, you know, top notch, top quality, nice crisp detailing going on there. Okay, still got a load more pieces going on in here. Okay, I think you might agree there is a lot of plastic in here for £120. We've got a nice little the rest of the ejector seats in here actually. Okay, they're looking pretty good. Okay, I don't know how they're going to compare to the resin, but we'll compare them with the resin later. But they're not looking too bad. Okay, you know, let's just say there's nothing crap about this kit so far. Okay, there's nothing that you can say looks bad. Okay, another little set of I don't know if this is like different versions or something, but we've got more instrument panels and dials and everything going on here, so you know, there might be like different versions that you can play around with. Okay, so probably that's what that is. Okay, bunch of screws. Okay, because we're going to do some screwing here as well as gluing. Some more pylons, okay, no big deal. Right, we've got our nice big belly section here, okay, and just bringing you in. In fact, let's just get this out for you and show you some more detail. Okay, so you can really kind of, you know, look at how this kit is going to go down like. There we go. I mean, as you can see, it is really nice detail, nice crisp recesses, and you know, the rivets are really nice. Okay, it is really good detail going on there, as you can see, and that's one big piece. And then we've got this big foam bit going on here, which I'm going to open it up and find out why they put that on there. Okay, I'm kind of assuming it's because we've got these little aerials and stuff going on here which could potentially scratch against something. That's my best guess. But we'll put that back in the box and we'll get out what we got here. Here you actually get given the screwdriver to screw in the screws, okay? Not bad, okay? It's only a little dinky thing, but you know, at least I've provided it. Oh, this does look nice at the back here. I mean, this is all going to be nicely sprayed, all your natural metal finishes and everything. And as you can see, you know, I mean, we got some nice detail going on. Okay, which that will look nice with a nice natural metal finish and everything. So that should be good. Does look like we've got a bit of a seam line going down across here, which we're probably still going to have to take care of, but that does look nice. Okay, nicely separately packaged. Okay, last kind of sprue here, which is like your wings and your tails. Okay, I mean, looking at it, it is the same as the rest of the kit really, so I'm not going to try and bore you. I mean, the detail is just absolutely outstanding and it looks really, really good. I don't want to bore you because I've still got all the aftermarket parts to show you through, okay, and there's actually still a little bit left here. The actual canopy section, okay, I mean, what we're looking at here, okay, this is always a worry for me when I open these up, because this could be like end game. Okay, if you don't get a good canopy, you know, there's not much you can do about cracks and scratches. Well, I mean, you can do a bit, but I mean cracks and kind of bad mouldings. I mean, if you get a bad moulding or a crack, that's it, you've just, you know, you've got to take the kit back. But this kit looks really nice. It does look really clean, really there's no scratches, there's been no rubbing or cracks or bad moulding or anything. You know, it really does look really nice. Okay, the shininess of it, okay, it's shall we say, it's just nice. Okay, it's not to the more professional standard. I like to get them really kind of nice and shiny where, you know, it looks like glass, so it does need a polish. Okay, but it is still pretty good. So we got one last little box here now, okay, and I think this is like landing gear and stuff. Okay, because we're paying like £120, we get ourselves some rubber tyres, okay, which kind of saves us painting tyres, and they do look quite nice when they're rubber. We've also got this nice little set of you know, your metal landing gear, okay, which you're probably going to need that for this kind of weight, which is actually quite good, because I mean, the amount of resin we're going to throw in this as well, you know, it really could do with something nice and strong to hold the weight. So, you know, it's good they've given us some nice landing gear extras, which will jazz it all up. Okay, so that is £120 worth of kit. Okay, so before we start looking at like the aftermarket parts, you know, is it worth it? Well, I mean, looking at that kit, it looked really, really, really impressive. Okay, I don't think I could really kind of knock anything on it. Okay, I mean, your cockpit area, your ejector seats, you know, your exhaust cans looked actually really top notch. Okay, you can get all this resin and aftermarket stuff, but I don't know, what you get in the kit is actually damn good. Okay, you know, I'm not sure that you're going to need to actually go out and get you know, all these aftermarket parts in those areas anyway. The decals look really good and everything. Is it worth it? I think it is, because I mean, it is 1/32 scale. You know, the detailing, the rescribing, the rivets, you know, the amount of stuff you get in with this kit is, it's just one of these things that you can't really build something of that colossal scale, you know, and with that much detail and that much quality by the looks of it, you know, without spending, you know, a fair bit of money. So I'm going to say yes, because I'm really excited about building this kit, and although it was £120, it's like I want to spend £120 to actually get that kind of quality and level of detail, and that looks like exactly what you've ended up getting with this kit. Okay, so the aftermarket parts. Okay, we've got a nice couple of aftermarket parts here. Right, where shall we start? Okay, let's start with our F-4J Phantom 2 cockpit set for the Tamiya kit. Okay, it's 1/32 scale, as you know. We're just going to open this up and we're going to actually have a look, you know, what have we got in this little baby here. Okay, nice bit of photo etch, okay, to go with it all, which looks really nice. You know, you've got all your, you know, usual instrument panels, and you've got your film and everything to bring out all the dials really nice. Okay, and we've got some wire in there, which I'm gonna have to read the instructions and find out what we use that for. Okay, maybe they want us to do a bit of scratch building. Instructions, to be honest with you, I mean, I've read Aries instructions before and they are not straightforward. Okay, and it doesn't look like these are going to be straightforward either. Okay, it does show you where you've got to cut all the resin bits off, but yeah, you will get there in the end with these instructions. Okay, but it takes they're not simple. Okay, and we'll leave it at that. You do get there, but it isn't simple. So let's have a look what kind of detail we've got going on with our cockpit. Okay, right then, let's bring you in on our tub. Okay, and looking at that detail, I mean, that does actually look, I mean, well, it's resin, and I think you've paid about, I think it was maybe £20–30, I kind of forgot, but it's around about that. You know, it's gonna look cool. Okay, it's gonna be a shame that we're gonna be putting crew in here, because we're gonna cover up a bit of it, but you know, that does look nice. It does look better than the kit, but as I've said, the kit does look really good. Now, let's compare our resin ejector seat. Now, these ejector seats here, the ones that you get with the kit, I mean, it's not all, shall we say, built yet. Okay, there are a few more bits to it, but I mean, we can kind of compare, you know, the kind of detail that's going on with this. Okay, let's bring it out a little bit. As you can see, yeah, I mean, the detail that you get with resin is nicer, which is kind of, you know, obvious, to be honest with you, but you know, as I think, as you can kind of see, I mean, it's still pretty good what you get with a kit. Okay, and there's still a little bit more that needs to be built up with the ones on the kit. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to kind of show you that actually what you get in the kit, you know, is pretty damn good. Okay, obviously all this resin stuff is better, you know, I mean, looking at it, it is better, and it is really top notch, and you know, probably the best kind of aftermarket stuff you can get for it. But I mean, don't worry about what you get in the kit, so I'll just put that away and we'll move along and try and hurry up here. Okay, and then we've got our exhaust cans. Okay, and we'll bring you in again and we can just show you the differences. Okay, this is what you get in the kit, okay, and this is the resin. Now as you can see on the inside, I mean there's a lot of nice detail going on inside there compared to what you get in the kit, okay. I must say the exhaust cans do actually look a lot better than the inbox one. The cockpit, as I say, is actually really good that you get with the kit, but I must say actually the resin exhaust cans, you know, are a lot nicer than what you get in the kit. So that is a definite kind of, I do like them, okay. And I do like the resin cockpit. It's just, as I say, you get a nice one with the kit. Okay, so we put them away. What else? I mean, we've got some extra decals here, which are just, I think, just a bunch of markings. Okay, and this is for the USS Nimitz, and I think, what are these? The Daredevils or something? The something Devils. Forgot which squadron it was now. It's somewhere on here. VF-74. Something Devils, okay. The Decals, okay, look nicely in registry. I mean, they do look and feel a bit on the thin side, but I don't know, you know, how well these will go down. So we'll have to kind of do a conclusion video, and I'll let you know how good these decals are. But that is just for the markings. We can use the stencils in the kit, okay, and we can end up with some different markings. Now, just a quick look at the pilots, okay. I did show you the pilots earlier, okay. I did buy these pilots, nice resin pilots, okay, and we'll just see how good these look. Now these are nice resin, okay. We can play around and kind of move their arms and heads and stuff in different ways, so we make both of them look differently, but you got a lot of nice detail going on with our pilots here, okay, and they're gonna look really nice in this kit. However, I must say, if I knew how good the pilots are in the actual box, I probably wouldn't have gone out and brought these, to be honest with you. These are a little bit better, but the ones you get in the kit are so nice anyway. To be honest with you, going out and getting you know, aftermarket pilots is a bit of a waste of money, because you do get some really nice ones in the kit. So far I'm finding that although the kit may have cost £120, I've gone out and brought a lot of like aftermarket detail, and I'm kind of finding that, you know, it's a bit nicer having the aftermarket like resin, cockpits and seats and everything, but what you get in the kit is so nice that you can so easily get away with doing an out of the box kit here. But I've gone off and I've brought the big edge set as well for the 1 in 32nd scale F-4J. And in here we've got a load of extra exhaust stuff, okay. I'm kind of assuming this is to turn this exhaust that you get into the kit looking really nice, which kind of saves you having to go out and buy the resin exhaust set by the looks of it. So that is an extra option. Yeah, we got some remove before flight tags as well. Needed a couple of them in 32nd scale. Play cards. Okay, cool. So what we've got here is what would probably be decals is actually like some photo etch kind of, do you know the stickers that go on aircraft which kind of have warnings on and bits of writing and stuff that go on panels here and there? Well, basically we've got some photo etch bits here, which is quite interesting. We've got a set of ejector seats, green, okay, which is basically for your in the box ejector seats, just to jazz them up, which we're not going to need actually. And why did I buy this big edge set, to be honest? And then we've got some Tamiya, I think it's the interior, yeah. I think we've got a load of interior here. Now I wanted to get this, okay, I know we've got, you know, all this kind of nice fancy resin cockpit and everything, but by combining some Ejector and the resin, you can read, I know it's a bit expensive and you end up throwing, you know, you end up rubbing away a load, well, sanding away some detail on your resin, and you end up you know, probably throwing away and not using quite a bit of, say, photo etch, okay? But, you know, if you spend that bit of extra money, you combine the resin and the photo etch, you know, it can look really nice and give it that bit more of an extra, you know, nicer finish, okay? We've got some formation lights on here, which is a nice little touch just to bring out that little bit of extra detail rather than what you sometimes get, which is just decals, okay? So that's a nice extra little touch. Looks like we've got some of the canopy cutouts here, which, you know, you kind of use to mask up your canopies. Although I've got it, I won't use it because I find it's better if you do it yourself. What else have we got here? F4 useful areas, 1 in 32nd scale. Oh yes, this is quite cool. Let's get this out. Where's it gone? Oh no, is that the right one? Not sure what that is. That's it, there we go. This, okay, if we have a little close look, okay, this is basically some photo etch masks, okay? So do you know all those like no push, no step, you know, all those little kind of decals that you put on, you know, your model, okay, after spraying it? Well, what these are photo etch stencils, where basically, you know, you put a bit of masking tape around it, you know, you can masking tape it down onto your model, and you can spray on these really cool like no push, no step markings that you have all over the F4 Phantom, okay, which just gives you that really kind of nice actual sprayed on look, because you will be spraying it on. So that's a nice cool little extra that we can do with this one. I'm not sure what this one is, to be honest with you, because as I say, I haven't actually looked at all this yet. Okay, so what have we got here? I think it's okay, these are a bunch of extra masks, okay, for I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, okay, you get to mask, you got all these masks now to kind of do all the back engine exhaust area where you've got all that natural metal finish, okay. Basically it's just to mask all that up. To be honest with you, if I'd never got it with the big headset, I wouldn't buy it, because, I mean, come on, just mask it up yourself. I mean, it's not that hard. You put a bit of practice in and you'll get there, trust me. And that's, oh yeah, I suppose you got some weapons. What else have we got in here? You got some masks to do all your formation lights. It looks like to do the nose section. Then again, I suppose actually looking at this one, I mean, there are a nice couple of cool masks you can do, because there are like certain decals that you'll put down. It does actually mask it up so that you can actually spray them as well, rather than using the decals. And there's also, you know, your missiles. I mean, it does look nicer if you spray those little stripes on your missiles rather than you know, using the decals. So I suppose, you know, actually that's not too bad. I'm not sure how much that is separately, but I wouldn't pay too much for it. But it's a nice little cool thing actually. So a load of aftermarket decals. I think this has turned into now a 33 minutes we're up to now on like the whole review of a kit, okay, which is the longest and biggest and expensive kit review I've done. But hopefully I've really kind of wet your lips here on, you know, not something that is your average, you know, you go out and buy a 20-50 pound kit, you know, and there you go. I mean, we've really gone for a big, you know, really exciting, really expensive kit. We've gone, you know, we've gone out and we've brought a hell of a lot of aftermarket parts, and I've showed them you all. And hopefully, you know, if you've been thinking about building this kit, hopefully you'll kind of see that, you know, to kind of summarize everything, the kit looks absolutely, you know, gorgeous. It is £120, but it really is a kit that you don't have to go out and get all this aftermarket parts. Okay, all this aftermarket parts, you know, it's all those nice little extras. Okay, it's those things with this particular kit where it is just a personal extra. Okay, it's not a must. Okay, it's not as if the cockpit is that bad you kind of think to yourself, I've got to get a resin cockpit. Okay, this all these extras is nothing more than just a bit of personal extras. You don't have to add anything to that Tamiya 1 in 32nd scale F4 Phantom at all. It is all good to go, and it will look superb straight out of the box. Okay, so as I say, hopefully I've helped you kind of choose. I mean, price wise, I did forget to mention, I think that big Ed set, okay, this is off the top of my head now, but I think it was like a bit of a whopper of like £50 or something like that. It was quite expensive. I think we was talking about £20 for the exhaust cans, and as I say, it was about £20–30 maybe. The I think it was maybe about £20 for like your cockpit and your exhaust or something like that. The pilots were actually, I think, quite expensive. I think there was something like maybe the £7–10 marks for just one pilot. Okay, I really wouldn't get them actually. They are good, but they're not that much good to actually go out and spend like, you know, £7–10, you know, per pilot just to replace what are actually pretty damn good pilots anyway. They are a bit better, but they're not like miles better. Okay, and do you know what, these aftermarket decals are, I haven't got a clue how much those was, sorry to say. I'll try and put them into the conclusion video, but they look good too. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and it's been a big help. Okay, my name's Bobby Waldron, this is Genesis Models, and I hope you've enjoyed this in-box review of the 1 in 32nd scale F-4J Phantom by Tamiya.